Welcome to Nikki's Nightmares, where chilling tales come to life. Tonight, we journey inside one of America's most infamous murder houses, the Villisca Ax Murder House. In 1912, 8 souls, a family and 2 young guests, were slaughtered as they slept. Now, whispers echo through the dark halls. Children's laughter lingers in empty rooms, and the ghosts of Villisca refuse to rest. Lock your doors and listen closely, because some spirits never move on. If you love scary stories, paranormal encounters, and true horror experiences, you're in the right place. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join me as we delve into the deep, dark, and the mysterious. Part 1. What happened in this house? I came to Villisca at dusk. The house looks plain from the outside, small, old, quiet. But the story inside it is heavy. On June 9th, 1912, Josiah and Sarah Moore took their 4 children, Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul, to a church event. 2 neighbor girls, Ina and Lena Stillinger, stayed the night with them. It was a typical small-town Sunday. Doors were left unlocked. People trusted each other. Someone entered the house before the family came home. He took Josiah's axe from outside and hid in the small attic near the parents' room. Later, investigators found cigarette butts up there. He waited until everyone fell asleep. When the house was quiet, he stepped out. He struck Josiah first, with the blunt end of the axe, then Sarah. He swung so hard he left a mark in the ceiling above the bed. He went to the children's room next. There were no signs they woke up. Downstairs, he killed Ina and Lena. It's likely Lena woke in the final moments. The killer then went back through the rooms and struck the victims again and again, destroying their faces. He covered their heads, he covered mirrors around the house, then he left. No one was ever convicted. There were suspects. One was Reverend George Kelly, a self-ordained preacher who later confessed. He claimed a voice told him to follow the shadow and slay them all. He was considered unstable, and his confession didn't hold. Another suspect was Henry Moore, a drifter tied to a series of axe murders. He was later convicted of killing his own mother and grandmother. Whether either man did this remains unknown. In the years since, the house became known for 2 things: the crime and the feeling it leaves behind. Caretakers and investigators have spent long nights here. Many say the house mirrors you. If you come looking for fear, you find it. If you come quietly, it stays quiet until it doesn't. There are incidents people still talk about. In 2014, a visitor brought a hunting knife inside despite warnings. He tried to provoke the spirits. He later said he saw a flash of light and woke up in a hospital with a self-inflicted wound he didn't remember. He returned to apologize to the house. That's the history. 8 people went to bed and never woke up. The killer was never caught. The rooms hold a story that doesn't end. Part 2. A Night Inside. I don't rush in places like this. I move slowly. I breathe evenly. I keep my questions simple. I don't demand anything. I started in the kitchen. I sat at the table and listened. The house felt heavy, like the air was thicker than it should be. Not dramatic, just heavy. It feels like grief after a hard day, when you don't have words for it, but you know it's there. I spoke softly. I said I was sorry for what happened. I said I wouldn't stay long. No names yet, no instructions, just respect. From the stairwell, I heard a single step. then a pause, then another, measured. I stayed still. It stopped at the top as if someone changed their mind. I moved to the parlour near the small back bedroom where Ina and Lena slept. The bed is neat now, but the room never feels comfortable. I stood in the doorway and kept my voice low. "I'm here to listen," I said. The house answered in small ways, a shift of pressure, a quiet tick from a chair leg, then the sound of light feet crossing above me. Not random pops from old wood. This had a pace. It came toward the stairs and stopped. Upstairs, the children's room is the heart of the story. People bring toys now, not as props, but as gestures. I sat near the doorway. I told the room I wouldn't come closer unless invited. Time passed. Then a quick, dark shape crossed the hall, low to the floor, fast, like a child darting from one doorway to another. My hands lifted a little on their own. Nothing else moved. The room stayed still, but the feeling that someone small was near didn't go away. I didn't ask for names, but one floated up anyway. Ina. I don't know if I thought it or heard it. It felt like the house gave me a gentle nod and then closed its mouth again. I asked one question. "Do you want me to leave?" Silence. Then 3 soft steps in the hall. They stopped at the threshold. I felt a faint, cool presence on my hands, like a breath you barely notice. It wasn't a threat. It was simply there. I apologized for standing where so much had gone wrong. I moved back downstairs. Around 2 in the morning, this house changes. People say the train whistle that passes through town at that hour triggers things. I didn't plan to test that. I just stayed put. The whistle sounded long, thin, sad. The house answered. First, a long release of air, like someone steadying themselves. Then movement, room to room, in a pattern that felt deliberate. Upstairs first, the parents' room, the children's room. A pause. The hallway turned toward the stairs. Weight moved down, careful and slow, as if someone carried something heavy. Then the small back bedroom stirred. More pressure, more presence. I didn't see a figure, but I felt the order of it. It matched the story I had read in daylight. When the train passed, the movement eased. The pressure lightened. I kept still. The house settled. The activity didn't stop, but it got smaller again. Quick shadows in doorways, a faint, caught breath in the hall, the soft scrape of a fingernail near the baseboard. Twice I heard the almost sound of a little girl holding in a laugh. Not joy, more like the reflex of hiding and being found. I watched the mirror in the kitchen for a while. Nothing showed itself, but the glass felt wrong, like the house didn't want it to reflect anything important. Given how the killer covered mirrors, that feeling made sense. This place doesn't like faces shown. Near 4 a.m., a thin fog spread along the upstairs hall, close to the floor, slow, as if following a path it knew by heart. It drifted toward the parlour bedroom, paused, then dissolved back the way it came. It shouldn't have been possible indoors, but it happened. It moved like a memory. As dawn approached, the house let go a little. The weight lifted. Birds started up outside. The rooms felt ordinary again, wood, nails, cold glass, and quiet. I thanked the house and the people who lived and died here. I know that might sound strange. It felt necessary. I've been to places that push, scratch, or follow. This house didn't do that to me. It didn't perform on command. It didn't try to scare me for sport. It showed me a few clear things. A physical sadness that fills rooms like a low tide. Footsteps on the stairs, measured and sure. a small, fast shadow moving from doorway to doorway. The sense of little girls nearby, breath caught, laughter held, a path that repeats at 2 a.m., like a loop burned into time. Fog that travels room to room as if retracing the order of deaths. Some visitors claim they met the murderer here. Some say a darker presence manipulates the living. Maybe. What I felt most was the aftermath, shock, confusion, and the smallness of children who never had a chance to grow past that night. If a darker thing exists in these walls, it didn't show itself to me. If it spoke in the steps of June 1912. When I stepped outside, the street looked normal. The gate clicked shut behind me. The house stayed the same, plain, old, quiet, and forever changed. 8 people went to sleep in a safe town. They never woke up. The killer vanished. The house, however, remembers. If you listen, it tells you the same simple message, night after night. Someone walked into these rooms, someone never left, and the rest of us are here to feel what remains. The story ends here, but the terror does not. Join me again. Like, comment, and subscribe, if you dare.